Hey guys, here again doing 200 points today. We've got a Brethren of the Coast for me. So for my force today, I've got a seasoned English Buccaneer captain leading a unit of 8 freebooters, 6 Forlorn Hope. I've got 5 filibusters, 4 Sea Dogs with a medium cannon, and 5 Marineros. So hopefully we can do some plundering today. Oh, and the filibusters are veterans.
So I'll be playing the Spanish today. I'll be the defenders. So leading my force will be the man, the legend himself, Manuel Rivero de Pardal. I will have 20 milicianos in groups of 8, 6, and 6. I'll have a unit of 10 marineros here, a unit of 4 milicianos indios, and a unit of 8 veteran lanceros.
So for today's scenario, we've decided to do a little something different. We've come up with a pirate raid scenario. So I, as the Brethren of the Coast, are raiding a Spanish town. We've given my deployment zone 6 inches on either side of the deployment there, and then 3 inches up from the crashing waves here, so I'm swimming up from the shore, or swimming up onto shore. Over here I've got my 5 filibusters, my 4 Sea Dogs with the cannon. I've got the Forlorn Hope, who have made their way up here out of the water. I've got my freebooters over here on the bridge with my captain, and my marineros over there waiting. And the point of our game today is I'm going to come after these chests. If at the end of turn 3 I'm not contesting any of these 3 chests here, I will gain a strike point, and my opponent will gain a strike point every time I manage to get one of these chests off the board. Defending them today is
The Spanish Militia. So for me, I have my marineros here, milicianos indios here. I have 6 of the milicianos on this balcony here. I have Pardal and a unit of 8 milicianos in the top floor of this section of the building. So the way we broke the villa down is that the large section is 2 sections apiece for each floor. So there's an east and a west side, and then on the bottom floor it's the same thing. There's a west side and an east side. So Pardal's on the top floor, west side, and there's another unit of 6 milicianos on the bottom floor on the east side.
So turn 1, activation 1, I played a spade to his diamond. I activated my commander's unit here. I used a command point to move my marineros 4 inches up into cover behind this building. I moved this unit up 4 inches behind the bridge's wall there. And then I used a command point and a push to fire on these lanceros. Did surprisingly well, rolled 6 hits. Unfortunately, they are surprisingly sneaky. They're prone and elusive in cover, so their save was 3 up. Still managed to kill one and do a fatigue though. So that was good.
Okay, turn 1 Spanish activation. I activated with the diamond. I activated these milicianos on the balcony here. They used their drilled and shot at the freebooters here, and proc the ruthless. Ended up hitting one guy and doing no casualties, but inflicting a fatigue on the unit. Okay, turn 1 activation 2. I drew a spade to Wes's club, which means I went first. I moved my indios out. The spade procced quick as well as skirmisher, so they moved 4 inches out. Took shots at his filibusters there, hitting nothing, and then they scooched back behind these bushes.
I moved my Forlorn Hope up with a club. I moved 6 inches with 2 actions. Fired on Pardal's unit in this section of the building here with my final action, hitting twice, and doing a wound.
And no fatigue.
So turn 1, activation number 3, I played a Jack of Spades to his 4 of Spades, allowing me to activate first. I chose my Sea Dogs with the cannon. They fired on the unit of 6 milicianos that were in the bottom section of this building. Did well, hit with the cannon, did 2 additional hits, dropped the fortitude of the structure 1, and killed 3 of the milicianos inside, doing 2 fatigue to the unit.
Myself, I activated that same unit and just moved them up a section. Okay, turn 1, activation 4. I drew a diamond to Wes's pass. So I activated my veteran Lanceros. They stood up and moved 8 inches through the terrain, and they're effectively 4 inches away from the freebooters here. Okay, turn 1, activation 5. I drew a heart to his diamond. I activated Pardal's unit, which had 1 action. They spent their action firing on this unit here, doing a wound and causing a fatigue. His 3 command points he gave to his own unit to reload. He gave to this unit here to rally, which they ended up doing, rallying both of their fatigues. And he gave his last command point to the Lanceros to move 4 and to charge into these freebooters, who did 2 wounds.
After drawing out a fortune point?
And then did a bunch of fatigue, drawing out hit Wes's last fortune point.
Second fortune point, and making all of the fatigue tests though, getting none. So turn 5, the Brethren activation. So I activated my filibusters. They moved up 8 inches from behind these bushes and fired on these guys, killing 1 and doing a point of fatigue.
Turn 1, activation 6. I drew a 10 of hearts to Wes's ace of hearts, or diamonds. 10 of diamonds to Wes's ace of diamonds. Which means I moved my blob of marineros to threaten the freebooters there.
And then I moved my marineros up to just, get in there. So here we are at the beginning of turn 2 and double event! I rolled mine and was confused, so that's fun. I don't get to replace my card, so I'll be down a unit's activation this turn. And then Dalton.
I myself drew an event and I got unruly, which means I lose a command point for this turn.
So turn 2, activation 1, I activated him with the King of Spades to his 9 of Spades. I used my commander's unit, who fought the Lanceros using their pistols. I believe I killed 4 of them, but did only 1 fatigue. And that was their action.
And myself, for my spade, I activated my marineros here. They had 1 action, moved up 4, and then I pushed them to take their second action, or to charge the filibusters. Weather defensive fire, killing 2 of them and luckily only taking 1 fatigue, and then they wiped the unit.
So turn 2, activation 2, I activated him with another spade to a heart. I activated my Forlorn Hope. They fast reloaded. They moved up 3 inches, and then they pushed themselves to fire. They threw a grenade. Didn't explode on them. They also did no hits though. Fired 4 pistol shots, did 2 hits on the guys in the building here. Killed a guy, I believe.
Yes.
And did a point of fatigue.
Myself, I activated my commander's unit with the heart, inexperienced. So for their action, they reloaded back to loaded, and then with his 2 command points now, because I drew unruly, he forced his unit to fire on this on the Forlorn Hope here, killing 2 guys and doing a fatigue, I think.
Yeah, and driving them prone.
And his second command point, I forced the Lanceros to fight in combat. They did a casualty and ended up sucking out on the last fortune point and caused 2 more points of fatigue and broke the unit and then chased them.
Turn 2, activation 3, This empty patch of grass here was where my Marineros had moved up 4 inches for the spade they had activated with.
And myself, I activated with a diamond. I activated the Milicianos on the balcony here. They reloaded for 2 actions, back to even, and then I pushed them to fire down at the Marineros, killing 3 of them, and with the fatigue rolls, ended up wiping the unit out.
So turn 2, activation 4, I played my 4th spade to his club. I activated my Sea Dogs over here with the cannon. They expert artillery crewed for 1 reload, and then they used their action for another reload. And that was them.
For myself, I activated my Lanceros. Because they're on 2 fatigue, I dropped an action. So they had 2 actions. I made a dedicated fight action against the freebooters here. Hit all 3, did 2 casualties, and another point of fatigue. Okay, tail end of turn 2. Wes had no more cards, so they were effectively passes. My last 2 cards I activated with diamonds. So, unit in the top of the building here, the 2 Milicianos took shots at the Forlorn Hope down here. Hit 1, killed 1. Nope, didn't kill a guy. I just caused a fatigue. And then the Milicianos Indios moved up towards the chests. Turn 3, activation 1. I drew a spade to Wes's lower spade. I activated my Lanceros, and they fought, killed 1 guy, and caused another fatigue, which pushed the unit to 6 at the time.
I then used my spade, activated. They rallied, getting back 4 of their markers, putting them to 2 fatigue. They used a command point to fight the Lanceros, killing 1, but doing no fatigue.
Okay, turn 3, activation 2. I drew a spade to his heart. I activated my commander's unit, Pardal. So with his action, they reloaded. With his command points, he got 4 of them this turn. I forced the Lanceros to fight, killing 1, doing a fatigue, and breaking the freebooters, and then I followed up. I caused the Milicianos to rally, getting back 1 of their fatigue. I caused the Marineros to rally, getting back both of those. And I believe he reloaded his own.
Yes.
For another one.
And then me, I activated the Sea Dogs with a heart, so they reloaded with their expert artillery crew. They used their first action to move up 2 inches, and then they used their second action to fire on the Marineros, killing, I believe, 3 of them, but causing no fatigue. So turn 3, activation 3, I beat him with a heart to a club. I used my Forlorn Hope here. They did a dedicated rally. They got back 2 of their 4 fatigues, and that was it for them.
For myself, I moved up my Marineros, weathered defensive fire, taking no hits, and killing 2 of the Sea Dogs in combat, and then breaking the unit.
And at that point, I have decided to concede this battle. My remaining units are either prone or already shaken, and it is now 2 to 6 units. Pardal is still giving out orders like a madman. So at this point, I'm calling off the raid and going home to lick my wounds. So that's the end of turn 3 and the end of the Brethren of the Coast. Thanks for watching, guys.